Welcome back. I'm here with Ed and Esther Deach from Potter Financial Services, and we're going to talk a little bit about what they do, some of the services that they provide in terms of insurance and financial planning. But first, Esther, let's talk to you. What's your background and your specialty here with Potter Financial Services?
Actually, I'm originally from Western New York. I grew up in East Aurora, went to school there, graduated from East Aurora High School, and was away at college for a few years and got married and moved back with my husband.
Mm-hmm.
We have been in business now since 1986 in Western New York and know very well the area, especially the South Towns, as far as the needs of the people in the area.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the specialties that I bring to the agency are personal lines. I deal with our personal clients as far as their homeowners insurance, their automobile insurance, and not only just what they need to have to pass as far as Department of Motor Vehicles concerned,
Mm-hmm.
or the mortgage requires them to carry homeowners and flood insurance, but also what they may need to meet their specific needs, whether it has to do with any collections they have, for example, artwork, or
Mm-hmm.
if they have jewelry, if they have toys,
Uh-huh.
if they have boats, if they have motorcycles, if they have other things like that that are of concern to them, both from a liability and also theft or other losses.
Right.
We also work with businesses, not only large businesses, but we do a lot of business with small businesses, individuals, sole proprietors, and nonprofit groups. They are in much need of assistance
Mm-hmm.
at this time, especially in the economy the way it is.
Right.
There is always a need to look at what the coverages are as well as what the cost is. Sometimes it's difficult for a business owner to say, what do I need and what can I afford? And we work looking at each business and each individual
Mm-hmm.
as far as combining those things.
Yeah. Well, that's great. It sounds like you provide a lot of personal service, and a lot of research goes into what you do before you make recommendations or get something going with
Absolutely.
them. Yeah. And looking at your brochure here too, I mean, just the scope. I mean, you have a whole wide range of services and coverages that you provide here. It's just pretty impressive. So, let me talk to Ed a second.
Certainly.
Ed, how you doing today?
Good, Gary. Good.
Now, give a little bit of background on yourself and the areas that you focus on here.
Well, I've been in the insurance and financial services business for 35 years. And my side of the practice, as far as our business, Potter Financial Services, concentrates more on the financial services end, which includes retirement planning, life insurance and disability planning, and also to college funding planning. And we brought that to the practice because we're finding a lot of our clients when they're preparing their children for college, whether they're young or they're in high school, they're trying to find ways of funding their child's education, and there's just more to it than just getting an application and hope for the best.
Right. Well, what about things like, I mean, I know that's a main focus in terms of college planning, but I think one of the things that people are probably looking more at now too is long-term insurance.
Yes, sir. Long-term care is something that a lot of people ignore, but what's happening today is the baby boomers are here.
Mm-hmm.
I'm considered one of them, and what's happening is a lot of folks are not considering what's going to happen if I have a stay in maybe an assisted living, nursing home for a brief period of time, or if I want to stay at home. I mean, we've had personal experience with our parents, and during that generation, they didn't really have these products. And long-term care, I would say, is one of the essentials in planning for people's future. And it can deplete a lot of assets if it's not planned the right way.
Right, because all that care afterwards, nursing homes, health care,
absolutely,
is really, really very expensive. It can really put a burden on people.
It can actually, a lot of times people don't realize that it can actually take everything. Mm-hmm. And some people say, well, I'm in good health now, and we all know that we're going to be susceptible one day to something.
Right, right. Esther, can you talk about maybe some of the different companies that you work with and represent?
Certainly. What we are is we're an independent agency, which means we are not restricted to only one company, which means we can look between the strengths of a number of companies for what the person's need is. Some of the companies that we represent from a national standpoint are Hartford, Travelers, Zurich, Progressive. We also represent New York Central Mutual, who is a New York State company who specializes in personal lines in New York State. We also have a number of specialty companies. So if there are things that are a little bit unusual that you have, if there are businesses that need specialty products because of the type of business they're in, we have access to that also.
This is great, I think, in terms of the amount, again, the amount of products that you offer, the experience that you bring to the table, the number of resources that you also have through the different companies that you partner with. I mean, I think that's really pretty incredible. Well, we're kind of closing up here, so I just need to get some information. When people want to reach you, what's the best way for them to do that?
I would say that they could go to our website, which is www.potteradvisors.com, or just call our toll-free number, which is 1-800-682-5049, and just dial extension 16 or 11, and you'll either reach Esther or me, and we'll be glad to help.
Great. Well, thank you, Ed. Thank you. Esther, thank you very much. And we'll be back in just a minute.